in case you're wondering what the job market's like for 2023, wonder no more. I have the operations director for Manpower, Nate Lauger. How are you, Nate?
I can't complain. It's a beautiful day outside. I don't know when this will air, but when it does, it probably won't be. But.
Oh, we're recording in early March, which is a good thing to say because we know how much the job market can change,
it can.
Of course.
Yes.
Well, let's start on the employer side because you work with various employers.
Yes.
What do they tell you or what do you experience about finding good talent?
Well, they don't find enough. I think that would be the best way to put it. Everyone is struggling to find good talent. This isn't something that's locally even. We, as a part of Manpower, we're a franchise here, but we have a global connection. And every quarter we release our quarterly findings, surveys, and whatnot with all of these massive companies and small companies for that matter as well. And they all across the board have the same complaint. We can't find them fast enough, and we can't retain them. And that's been the biggest problem, probably more than anything, is if you find them, are they going to stick around for more than 3 months, 6 months? Because there's so many more opportunities right now. I mean, there's millions of opportunities everywhere for people. There was, when I first got involved in the job hunting, when I was a teenager, it was like, it was so happy when you got offered a job. It was like your life was made.
Yeah.
And it's not like that as much anymore because there are so many jobs available to someone. I always use the Indeed example. Everybody uses Indeed. Everyone's used it either for their personal life or if you're trying to hire and fire. But it's more like a social media network if you've ever gotten on there. And so if you are out of a job, you can like 20 photos like you would for grandma.
Right. You
didn't even actually look at the photos, but guess what? You have now just applied for 20 jobs, and you're probably going to get 15 replies just because people are that desperate for your talent. Whether or not I've seen it more often than not. People are trying to also apply for jobs that they're not qualified for, just to see if they can get a shot at it. But all that does is really just slow down the time for the customer that we're talking about, because now they're going through and searching for that talent, and they're wasting time on opportunities that aren't there. So it's a lot of steps.
Yeah. So Nate,
and that's just Indeed.
what do you advise, a person in a position of hiring HR or a business owner, what have you, someone that runs a manufacturing plant? What have you been advising to them in terms of little carrots or extra incentives, I guess?
Everyone always wants to say pay is the answer. I disagree. I know it's probably going to get me in trouble somewhere. I don't actually think that everything is always meant up by pay.
You got to like your boss, right?
That
culture
culture is the word everybody uses, but culture is probably also not quite the right term. I would say, how are you training your employee? And I know that's part of culture.
Yeah.
But if an employee comes in and does not feel like they are going to win very quickly, and a lot of that is based on, hey, are they actively training? Are you bringing something to the table to make sure that they don't feel like they're just like, here, stand in this corner, make that product, and then go home? If they don't feel like they're actively going to be able to advance in the company as well, they just are like, hey, it doesn't matter. Like I said, I have 15 other people that want me to come work for them. So it's not really so much culture. It's just so much making sure that you understand that you're also having to sell to the employee. It used to be, here's the job, here's the pay. Do you want it? Yes. Okay. Come in and do your paperwork. That's what it was. Now it's like, hey, these are what we offer. This is our benefits package. This is our time off, schedules. Schedules are a big thing, actually. People have gotten used to the swing shifts have become quite popular, but employees don't like swing shifts. No matter how much we try to push it, they don't seem to like them. Right. So we have a lot of turnover when we run into swing shifts, which is understandable. This is the production. This is how you need your business run. And it is hard to, and also then you have to accommodate for other employees if you make a small accommodation for this one. And that's where it gets hard, especially when you have these multinational bigger companies. They're like, I can't change our business strategy because of a couple of employees that are holding up our production line down here. And that's for any position, really. Even if it's let's say it's a restaurant that needs employees. That's something I always like to point out, is that you're basically running a production line if you own a restaurant. That's not what you planned on doing. I know that because I've never met a restaurateur who wasn't an artist more than he was he or she was a
business person,
a business, an HR manager, a director of operations. That's not something
they're
that
the chef. They like to create.
They like to create, but then there's like, hey, you're trying to figure out exactly the dollar amount that it costs you to put this product on the line, how much you're going to sell it for, and how much it costs you to make it. Not to mention all the other, keeping the lights running and all of that good stuff. It's the same thing. It's just you don't like. It's very difficult for someone to say, wow, I have to have, help in recruiting for things like that, helping you find the talent. And that's what we bring, because we have, in our offices, we have actually 4 offices in the CSRA, actually have one in Greenwood as well. So we're able to tap into a very large community. And since we service multiple accounts in multiple areas, that's what Manpower is able to bring to the table. We're able to recruit not just for your, for one thing only, and that's also something, I guess I'm going off on a tangent here, but basically, you can, just because let's say you're looking for somebody to, pick and pack. Well, I've got someone over here who's also had 3 years in, has worked at a Wendy's, let's say, for 3 years, and they're looking to get out of Wendy's. Well, believe it or not, they do fit oftentimes very well in jobs.
Pick and pack the fries.
You'd be surprised. It sounds ridiculous, but a lot of times they do better in positions than what they originally thought they were going to be in. It doesn't always work out perfectly, but being able to cross-examine where the talent is, and since we can do it from all over the place, not just as for a single company, they'll struggle to find, this is the only thing that they can hire for. This is the only thing that they're looking for. So it's very hard to find only those employees. Yeah. Well, I can be looking for multiple sources for you. So
we're continuing with Nate Lauger, the operations manager for 4 CSRA locations.
4 CSRA locations. We got one in Waynesboro, Thompson, down here in Augusta, and then also in Aiken.
And it's Manpower, but the local website is www.manpwr.com.
That's correct.
I love it. Very unique. And for employers that are kind of watching, can you just share what is the business model? Like when you sit down and try to engage with a company to get them an employee, how's it work?
Well, my main goal is like, hey, do you want to save some money? I know that sounds ridiculous, but there's a lot of costs that go into hiring and firing and creating a talent pool and keeping your lines moving smoothly. The easiest way to put it is you pay for taxes and workers' comp and all of that stuff and background screenings, things that you really have to do for just to get a good quality product anyway. Drug screens, these are very expensive and time consuming. And with us, we're able to streamline that. When you're able to go through a recruiting department like ours, you just tell us, hey, this is how many people we need, and we can go out and find that for you. You don't spend, the hours and hours looking through your Indeed posts, looking through your Career Builder or whatever sites you're going through. Even if you're doing you have a robust, recruiting department, it's really good for us to also be a part of that for you, because we can find some insights for you that you probably aren't always looking for. Maybe also finding some more high-end skilled labor as well, because we also do that. We'll find, permanent placements is what we call them. Like, I know that everybody in the world right now is looking for a maintenance second shift. Everyone is. It's a demand across almost every platform, because something that happened in 2020 was that a lot of them decided a lot of the skilled ones said, I'm going to retire. And when they did, unfortunately, they brought almost all the knowledge with them because of all of the restrictions that were placed on employers. It was very hard to train new people. Even you didn't have enough time to do it because of the quick exit, or there wasn't that personal connection. There was the idea that, we'll do it. Well, show me how to do it this way, or we'll make a video about it, or we'll, do it. It just wasn't as efficient. So everyone's really struggling to find quality talent in that department. And we love to place people like that. It's not just, of course, industrial that we service. We service just about everything from doctors' offices to, restaurants and college campuses, So yeah.
That's excellent. And again, the website to reach is manpwr.com. pwr.com. And before we let you scoot out of here, any predictions? Do you see anything into the second, third, fourth quarter of 2023?
There's a tightening. It started in the end of third quarter, actually. There was a clear stop in price increases in wages. Wages stopped pretty much hardcore, I would say, at the end of the third quarter. I haven't seen there's been very small,
Yeah.
but it's really stopped there. We're also finding more talent, which also tells me that there are fewer opportunities for some positions that are opening up. The skilled labor, that's never going to stop. That's through the roof. With so many people realizing that, hey, the United States actually does have a lot of people here. We can actually move a lot of our projects back to the United States, fix some of our logistics issues that we had in 2020 and 2021, 2022 and 2023 especially is going to be a big push for those kind of things. Logistics is a huge part of what Manpower corporate is also got a huge investment into trying to help companies figure out those issues as well.
And any shout out you want to give to a company that you work with or a type of industry that you enjoy working with, to give an example of how y'all operate?
Oh man, now I put me on the spot. Now if I don't name them all, they'll get all mad at me, and it's like, hey, you weren't supposed to talk about us.
No, that's all right.
No, I would say this. I love working with HR managers in general. I think that they're fantastic. Love talking to people. I got a problem where I can talk too much, obviously. And so I would say there's no such thing as a person I'm not willing to talk to. I love restaurants. If you own a restaurant, I'd love to talk to you. I think I spent 12 years of my life bartending and serving, and it's a huge passion of mine. And I know that where the problem lies for a lot of you, and you'd be surprised that staffing industries like ours could actually help you quite a bit. So,
wow. Yeah. Because usually they hop from one restaurant to another, but you kind of look at things differently sometimes.
Definitely. One point with that, for example, is that, I know a lot of small business restaurants struggle with things like insurance. They can't carry it for their part-time employees. It's just too expensive. Well, if you're going through a staffing agency, suddenly I can provide things like that.
I didn't realize that. Okay.
So there's a lot of little things that's a little thing, for example, that keeps an employee happy, because suddenly it's not like, even though they make great money as a server, but they are like, I got to have insurance. I got kids. I got to take care of my family, and I can't always get that at a lot of insurance or in a lot of restaurants and whatnot. Not all of them. Some of them do provide something, but it's always one of those things where I'd be like, you'd be surprised at how I'd be able to help you is probably the best way.
Excellent. Well, definitely get in touch if you can with Nate Lauger, again, Operations Manager of 4 CSRA locations. You may want to go onto the website, manpwr.com.
That's right.
And phone number?
Oh, man.
Which
I've got
best?
all 4, so let me give you. I don't care. I'll give my cell phone number because everybody calls me anyway. So it's still. I came from Greenville, so it's still. I got the 864-382-1895.
Okay, and we'll put that up on the screen.
I don't care. Everybody calls me anyway.
There will be no public walls or no graffiti or anything. Just on the.
I hope not.
On the thing here, I promise. It's been a pleasure. Thank you again.
Thank you, man.
Okay, Nate.
All right.